Good morning, everyone. How is your health? Now, again, we are here with Computer Science SEM3 online session. I hope now you are used to with this session. There is no any problem with this session. Do you have any problem regarding this? Then you can tell me in this WhatsApp group. You can clear your doubt in this WhatsApp group. You can also call me from Monday to Friday between 9 to 12. You can call me if you have any queries then. Otherwise, you can ask me queries in written form or in speaking form in our WhatsApp group. There are so many facilities in our WhatsApp. So you can utilize it. Okay. So now we have to start it from our third lesson. Already we completed 2 lessons. Now we have to start from today our third lesson, that is input and output. When we have to do any processing in computer at that time, we have to give some information over there. We have to store some information temporarily, some information permanent. Some of the time we have to display that information also. When we have to store any information in FoxPro on permanent base, at that time database file is used. According to our requirements, we have to set field and record in database file. But during the execution of process, when we have to give some information, and some of the information we have to utilize frequently again and again. For that, we doesn't require any database file. At that time, we have to store those information in variable. So today, first you will have to learn what is variable. In Gujarati, variable is known as chal. If you have any ideas about chal, in English, chal is known as variable. According to your requirements, you can change the value of variable. You will have to give appropriate name for each and every variable. To store to store any value in variable, you need to declare first of all variable. First of all, you will have to declare the variable to store any value. In this lesson, you will have to learn variable, constant, different type of variable, how to declare variable, how to give value to the variable, how to display information in FoxPro. All these things you will have to learn here. During processing, all the information will be stored in the computer memory temporarily. Its name is RAM. In other words, you can say that during processing, all the information will be stored in the RAM temporarily. For that, variable is used. When you want to store any information in computer on temporary base, at that time you will have to utilize their variable. You can store those values in variable. To easy identification, we have to give name for each and every variable. And after that, we have to give any particular value to that particular variable. So when do you want to utilize the value? At that time, you will have to give the name of variable. You doesn't need, I mean to say, if you don't write their variable value, then it's okay, but you will have to write their variable name. According to your requirements, you can change the value of variable. But last given value, you can see in the result. According to your requirements, you can change the name of variable also. When do you want to prepare, when do you want to store any value? At that time, you need that different variable. You are aware with this term variable. You have learnt the use of variable in maths. Now you will have to learn here. When do you want to find when do you want to calculate simple interest? At that time, you will have to give that formula I equal to PRN upon 100. In other words, I equal to P into R into N upon 100. We input the value of PRN to find interest. So, for principal amount, P variable is there. For rate of interest, R variable is there. For number of years, N variable is there. And to write the answer, we have their I variable. SI, you can write there either I or SI. Both of the terms you can utilize over there. So all this P, R, N, SI or I is variable. These were known as chal in math, which is called variable in computer. In maths you can say chal and in computer you can say variable. We can change the value of P, R and N as needed. As per our records, we can make changes over there. Therefore, that value is not constant. That is called changing value. So, in another word, it is not the constant thing over there. Every time you can make changes in the value of variable. That's why it is known as variable. Therefore, it can be said that whose value remains changing or can be changed is called variable. Again, I am repeating this. Whose value remains changing? Whose value remains changing or can be changed is known as variable. To store anything, a container is needed. In same way, to store the value of or information in a program, variable is used. If you want to store any value in program, then you need that variable, right? So it remains changing. It can be changed. That is variable. Now, just we have to move on the characteristics of variable. Whose value can be changed during the execution of a program is called variable. During the execution of program, you can make the changes in the value of variable. This is the main thing over there. Variable is declared to store values. Only one value can be stored in one variable. You can't store more than one value in one variable. If more than one value is given, only the last value is stored in a variable. The ago given values are destroyed on its own in computer's RAM, random access memory. Value is stored with the use variable. A variable name holds a specific location in memory, which is known as memory cell address. Variable is also known as an identifier. Variable is also known as identifier. In short, for each program in Foxpro language to store the values which are used in a program, a location is allocated first in computer's memory. To recognize such a memory cell or memory location, we give a meaningful name which is called variable. Now we have to move on our next term, that is types of variable. Okay, now we have to complete each and everything one by one. Types of variable. According to types of values stored in variable, there are different types of variables. Therefore, we can say that type of variable is dependent on the type of data. According to the data type, variable is divided into following types in different types, that is character, number, date, logical, memo, float, general, etc. Already I had given explanation regarding this data field. Do you have any idea regarding it? Data field. We already completed in last session data field or data type, right? So according to the data type, variable is divided into different types, that is character, number, date, logical, memo, float, general, etc. Now rules for naming variables or identifier. Variable is also known as identifier, right? When you want to give the name of variable, at that time some point should be taken into consideration. Do not forget it. Rules for naming variables or identifier. While writing program in Foxpro language, name is given to variable, function, procedures, object, etc. used in program which is known as identifier. Variable is included in identifier. Therefore, we will learn not only the rules of name in the variable, but also name in the identifier. There are the rules considered while naming the identifier or variable is just, we will make the discussion regarding it one by one. First one. The first letter of the identifier or variable should be an alphabet character, right? Next one, to make the identifier or variable name characters A to Z, capital letter A to Z, small letter N, digits 0, 9 or underscore sign is used. Right? I don't think so there is any problem. Our next point is that symbol except underscore cannot be used for variable name. The variable name should, next one, fourth one, the variable name should not be larger than 10 characters. In some cases, interpreter allows more than 10 characters. Next point, statement or command in Foxpro cannot be used as variable name, right? Again, I am repeating there, the name of the variable must be in 10 characters. So, maximum 10 characters must be given as a name of variable. Variable name must be start with alphabetic value. As the rest of the characters, alphabets 0 to 9 digits and only one sign, underscore sign can be used. As the name of variable, punctuation mark and space is not allowed. Only underscore sign is used. If you want to make division division in the name of variable, then only underscore sign is used. For example, gr number. If do you want to give the division there, then gr underscore division name number you have to write there. You will have to give that appropriate name for each and every variable for easy identification. For each and every variable, unique name must be necessary. FoxPro will consider uppercase and lowercase and propercase alphabets in same manner. So FoxPro is not case-sensitive language. So when we write any variable name is in capital letter, next time small letter, and next time proper letter, then it will consider in some manner. It will not consider in different manner. All the reserved words, command names and function names cannot be utilized as a name of variable. We have to utilize a unique name. So all these are rules for naming variables or identifier, right? So now we have to move on our next term, that is constant. Does not change the value in during the execution of your program is called constant. Whose value does not change during the execution of program is known as constant. For example, finding simple interest, P equal to 1000, R equal to 5% and N equal to 5 years are given, but where 1000, 5 and 2 are called constant. In the same way, in the city Morbi, where Morbi is called constant. Example of constant. See everyone. Now we have to make discussion regarding it. Any person name, I mean to say Rathod, Raj, then we have to write their birth date, then we have to write their skull. All these are called constants, right? Operators, I had given explanation regarding it. How many operators are there? Arithmetic operators are there, relational operators are there, logical operators are there, and string operators are there. There is no any problem. I think there is no any problem in this operator, right? So now in constant value, we can display numeric value and character value, date value and logical value. When we want to display any character value, at that time you can directly, numeric value, at that time you can display directly over there. You don't write any sign over there, right? When you want to store a numeric value in variable and as a constant, do you want to store it, constant whose value cannot be changed during the execution of program is known as constant. If do you want to make the calculation of simple interest, then if you give their P equal to 5,000, R equal to 12% and N equal to 5 years, then 5,000, 10% and 5 years is constant value. During execution, you can't make changes in this value. So you can write this value directly over there. But the next one is the character value. When do you want to write character value in FoxPro? At that time, you have to write the value in inverted comma, single inverted comma, double inverted comma, or in square bracket, right? When do you want to give value to the variable, at that time you can give that different type of value to the variable. You can give their numeric value, you can give their character value, you can give their date value, you can give their logical value. But you will have to write this value in different style, right? With different method. When do you want to give any numeric value to the variable, at that time you can directly give that. You don't need any sign over there. But when you want to give their character value, that time you will have to apply this value in single quote, double quote or square bracket, right? Okay, next one is their date value. Date is given according to American method. The format of American method is the MMDDY. You will have to write date in curly brackets, right? Next one, you can give that logical value also. So in logical form, you can get answer in true or false form, yes or no form, and you can write, you can display your value in .y, .n, .n, . So you have to utilize over there dot sign, right? So this type of values you can store in the variable, right? Now, how to declare a variable? Now we have to move on how to declare variable. We can utilize the sign and we can utilize the command also to declare the variable, right? So from here, this practical, it will be start from here. So I will continue this practical session from the next session. But today I want to go with only theory. That's why we have to do that theory. So our next topic is that different type of variable. So we have to move on different types of variable. There are two types of variables which we can see in Fox law, that is public variable and private variable. Generally, when we declare any variable and when we give any value to that variable, it will be used in only current processing. We can't utilize in any another procedure. So when we can utilize this only in current processing, that is known as private variable. But when we utilize this variable in another processing also, that is known as public variable, right? When do you want to declare the private variable? At that time, you don't need to write any private keyword over there. But when do you want to write any variable public base, at that time you will have to utilize the public keyword. In another words, I am explaining you that what is the difference between public and private. When you declare any variable directly over there, when you give value to the variable, it is private variable which you can utilize for any particular one processing. But when do you want to utilize this same variable for different processing, for another processing also, at that time you will have to declare this variable as public variable. When do you want to declare? What happened is that when do you want to declare the variable, when do you want to store the value in variable, at that time you can utilize over there store command and equal to sign, right? Both the method, any of the method you can apply there. But when do you want to utilize your variable for only one processing, at that time you will have to directly write the variable name and you can apply there this variable, right? But when do you want to apply this variable in different, in another processing also, at that time you will have to declare this variable with public keyword. So before variable name, you will have to write there public keyword, then write the variable name and then give value over there for any particular variable. So this is public variable. when we declare any variable publicly, at that time we can use this variable value in another processing also. We can utilize this variable in current program also, current processing also, and for future another processing also. Public variable is also known as global variable. To declare the global variable, public keyword is used, and for public variable, public keyword is used. For example, public GR number, comma, pay. So we can utilize both these variable for SEM processing and for another processing also. Right? So we have to utilize it. I don't think so there is any problem. How to give value to the variable? How to give value to the variable? I think now we have to complete this lesson, this lecture over here. Now we will continue in next session. If there is any problem from tomorrow, just we have to start it from how to give value to the variable and how to declare variable, right? So we have to start this session from here. And in next session, we have to complete input and accept command and how to display your information, right? So all these things we have to complete there. And then after we have to start our fourth lesson. I need 2 sessions to complete third lesson, and then after we can start fourth lesson.